Good morning, everyone. Virgo here. It is November 18th, 2019. I hope everybody had a wonderful weekend and happy Monday to everybody. Okay, this is a video with regards to Mr. Winston Shrout. Now, there have been many questions, both privately and publicly in the comments section regarding Winston and what exactly went down. Now, nobody can really tell you that because there was a lot of information that's been left out with regards to his apprehension. One of the things, however, that is important to notate here is that more and more information is actually coming forward. This is an article from Forbes that was drafted up and released on November 12th. 2019, and that is something that, as you can see, has only been viewed about 1,000 times. I try to keep you guys that collect this type of information updated on new articles that come out, especially from newspapers and news sources that are in the higher rankings, such as Forbes. As you can see here, Kelly Phillips Erb actually wrote an article about Winston Shrout on the 12th. So this is a new one that's gone up that you all might want to read. It goes over, of course, everything that he was indicted for, found guilty of, and then sentenced to. So I want to make sure you guys know about that. But then in addition to that, of course, I've gotten a lot of people requesting information regarding his Bureau of Prisons update. As we have seen in the past, it takes a very long time for the Bureau of Prisons to update their database. It currently still shows that he's not in BOP custody. And if you actually go in and look at the court listener information that's in there, as far as the case is concerned, nothing has been updated there either. Now, this was a situation where he was apprehended in Arizona. And so there are a series of different events that are going to have to take place before he actually is updated in the system. Number one, he's going to have to go back to court. He was on the lam. He skipped out when he was supposed to have turned himself in. There's him being arrested in Arizona by the United States Marshals. They're going to want to get him back to whatever state that he was actually, chances are, tried in, or potentially the state that he was actually supposed to be turning himself into when he was supposed to walk in and turn himself in to the Bureau of Prisons. So that's one thing, the extradition of everything. He could be in several different locations prior to him actually settling in the specific federal prison that he was scheduled to be in. Another scenario is that he may actually no longer be going into that same facility. They may have to put in another request through the Bureau of Prisons to find a place for him. So potentially he's just being held wherever they're transferring him to until they can get him settled in a specific place. Once they do, this particular BOP.gov file will be updated with where he is supposed to be apprehended and staying at for the next 10 years at least. We also have no idea in terms of the new case, what he could potentially be finding himself with in terms of additional time, because of the fact that he skipped out, and chances are they're not just going to let that go. I know a lot of you have said, hey, do you think they're going to just let it go because of his age? He virtually already has some form of life sentence because he's already 71, and he has 10 years with a 5-year mandatory and 5 years at least being something that was put into his case information. I don't believe that to actually be the case. I don't think that the victims would find that that is something that is a positive thing. I think that no matter what, even if they do ultimately decide to give him a mulligan, let's say, on his running away of where he was supposed to turn himself in, they're still going to have a court case on it. So I guess my ending explanation on this, as well as anyone can tell, and to be perfectly honest, blindly, no one can tell. But through the couple of attorneys that I've spoken to and my experience in chasing after federal inmates in terms of newsworthy stories for you guys, etc., what I have found is sometimes it can be weeks or even months before the Bureau of Prisons is actually updated to show where they're going to be at. And in addition to that, for example, with Heather Antucci, when she moved from Tennessee to Dublin in California, it took weeks for that to show up. So they're rather behind. Now, I've had some other questions with regards to Link. All right, so Vine Link is a service that is provided to people that are victims or potentially attorneys of victims that are looking to see whether an inmate is still incarcerated or not. And let me show you what that website looks like. Okay, so we're over on vinelink.com. Vinelink is what is provided to the Victims Have the Right to Know service. It allows you to search any particular state for a person who is incarcerated that you might have been a victim of, or potentially an attorney of someone who might have been a victim. However, Vine does not service the Bureau of Prisons inmates, meaning there is no one that is a federal inmate that is going to be serviced through the Vine connection. Courts that are not federal, that are state level, have to be signed up with the Victims Have the Right to Know Vine Link service in order for their inmates to show. So, for example, if you search for Sharon Tracy Gale, who's actually in a state-run prison or a state-run county jail, those are going to be able to be located through Vine. But someone like Winston, who's actually considered a federal prison, is going to have to be searched for at bop.gov, which is the actual federal prison database. So just to answer that question. I'll be placing this link in the description for you for those of you that would like to see it. This is the original 2016 indictment, or it was posted in 2016 on Winston Shrout. I found this to be very humorous. One of the reasons why I'm showing it to you is because there is a link, number one, to the original indictment for Winston Shrout. There is a short little snippet here on Facebook that is public for people to see. And in addition to that, you will find that one of the people that is the biggest pusher of exactly what Winston Shrout went to prison for and was indicted on is Druana Johnston. And she, of course, is making claims here as the very first poster from 3 years ago, claiming that he was on a different path than her and that they operate non-adverse and actually work with the IRS in order for people to not get in trouble in this manner, and obviously battling off any potential claims that, hey, you're doing exactly what Winston did by selling these bogus packages and giving these bullshit seminars. And as a hi baby, there's Mazarine for you guys, whining in the background like puppies do. But anyhow, it's really hilarious that Druana, someone who spoke out for Winston and made claims that he wasn't in prison when he really was, had been already apprehended, made claims that he was never going to be taken in and sentenced for any time at all, that he'd win his case. Her and April Lejeune hand in hand rooting Winston on, all to find out that she's made these claims here on Facebook openly with the Druana Johnston name, which is not her name, by the way, in reality, that of course they work with the IRS. The IRS is their friends. So of course they're not on the same path as Winston, and making sure that people don't think that she's doing anything like Winston. Everything she's doing is legal. Bullshit. Don't you believe it for a second. Druana has ripped off, probably at this point, millions of dollars from people by doing exactly what Winston did. And the only reason that Druana has not been caught yet is because Druana keeps herself out of the United States to avoid having anyone capture her. Running back and forth between Mexico and Egypt and all kinds of different areas that you can actually see if you follow her. So don't anybody believe that for a second. She's doing exactly what Winston did. I thought you guys would find that humorous, and you can see the link in the description or in the comment section pinned to the top of it if you want to actually research this. Okay, moving on from Winston Shrout. That is all of the information that I currently have right now on Winston. And when I have more and when I can get the full story, I will be bringing it to you guys just like always. But currently, that's all the information that I have, and hopefully that answers most of your questions with regards to why he's not locatable yet. We will be making sure that that does update and bring you any additional information that we find out with regards to his Arizona apprehension. Okay, now let's talk about today's Sharon Tracy Gale Bay trial. So there's an interesting update here. One of those updates is on the first case with all 14 of the charges on Sharon Tracy Gale, which is actually giving us a date of today at 9:30. That would be Eastern time. So she is already in place in terms of what has been scheduled for court. But we also have the secondary case that let's see, let me show you this real quick first. Sorry, you guys, I'm a little out of sorts this morning. Okay, here we go. So the criminal notice on this case was for the 18th of November, and that's at 9 a.m. in courtroom 2 with Judge Capelli. All right, and that was actually put into place on the 17th of October. So there's that. Then we have this one, which is also showing 11/18, but at 9:30, which is a pre-trial conference, and that is for the new case where she has criminal, or not, yeah, it's not criminal trespassing. What is it? Defiant trespassing. Yeah, defiant trespassing. Okay, so we have two going on right now. We have one that started at 9 Eastern time, one that's starting at 9:30 Eastern time. As soon as these update, I will be notifying you of what is new on the docket. So there will be a second video that comes out today. I wanted to update you guys on all of these things. I was incorrect last week when I actually made mention of the fact that I was going to be updating you on DeCorey Pitts. DeCorey Pitts does not have a hearing or a trial date of today. Both of these things were on Sharon. So I will be bringing you the additional information that comes up on the docket as soon as it is available. And I would anticipate that would probably be sometime after noon today. So, just watch for it. Make sure your notifications are turned on. Let me also mention that for those of you that are not getting notifications lately, try this. Unsubscribe and then resubscribe, and make sure you hit the bell for all notifications. If you don't hit them for all notifications, chances are good that you're only going to get a notification of a video update every once in a while. This is something I've been tracking for the last 6 months, and it appears that for those of you that personalize those things, it's like the system's not set up quite right or something, and you might only get an update once or twice a week on videos that I've uploaded. All right, you guys, so I'll see you later on this afternoon. Thanks for your patience. Sorry about Mazarine in the background. She is ready for her walk and playtime, and she gets kind of whiny when she doesn't get her way. Hopefully that will end soon. She's only itty bitty, and so we're working on trying to get her to realize that there's a repetition to this thing, and on a daily basis she's having to try to work her way into what that repetition is. but she's doing really well, and I'll be updating a new photo for you guys real soon on her and Morgana. And I hope everybody has a wonderful afternoon, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.